Hello, everybody, and welcome to another daily chat with Andy the Gabby Cabby. I hope everyone is all right today. I hope everyone has had a good Sunday. You're all well, bright and breezy at, nearly 10 past 8 this evening. And before I go much further, shut that door because I'm a little bit late. The light's fading ever so slightly, a little bit more quick than it usually does. Before I go any further, let's just have a look through and see who we've got, shall we? Hello, Alan Pape, Blood Nose as well, Angela Gardner, M. Perry, Julie Keys, Gary Moores. Hello to all of you. Hello, Lorna McKenzie. Who else have we got here? John Harrington, hello to you. Julie Baldwin, hello to you. Good to see you. Again, many of the regulars here, and hope you're all okay. Alan Edge, good to see you. Dave Smith as well. Angela Gill, well, that's Adam, isn't it? Oh, well done, Adam. Well done. You've been off the sauce for 11 days. That's absolutely wonderful news. Keep it going, my friend. More chance of being sent to Chester. We'll come to that in a minute, Alan. Don't you worry. It's Lisa Farr. Good to see you. John Harrington, Julie. Yeah, all the regulars are here. That's wonderful. Excellent to see everybody. And who we got here? John Cove Lord John Kent is here as well. Excellent. Wonderful. Well, there's one thing I want to start by saying. And I hope you don't think I'm preaching to the choir here when I do, but I'm going to say it anyway. If you have a friend or you have a loved one, a work colleague that you've not spoken to for a long time, or they might be going through a bit of a tough patch at the moment, phone them, arrange to meet, talk to them, do something with them while you still get the chance to, even if it's just go for a cup of coffee. Just do something to make somebody's day. The simplest, kindest acts can sometimes make somebody's day. I had a humbling experience today. I've got a good friend of mine I used to work with who's very, very ill at the moment, and he's kind of stuck in the four walls around his house, and he fancied a change of scene. So I took him out for a cup of coffee. A few hours out of the day, good to see him, and got him out of his surroundings. If you can't do that, pick up the phone, talk to somebody. There'll be somebody out there that just needs a little pick me up. Make sure you do it. I read comments here in the chat where people are on their own and they come here to the Gabby Cabby community and be part of Andy's army, as somebody has branded us all, and this is how we all get together and cohabitate and talk to one another. It's my therapy, it's your therapy, and just do something for somebody. It would mean the world to them, and it would mean the world to me that you've done what I've suggested. There'll be someone out there somewhere that and that's all I want to say on that subject. It's been an enlightening day for me. I can tell you that without going into too much detail. Right, on with proceedings. Dinghy divers. Yes, we have things to talk about with dinghy divers. We've had it in the news, haven't we? They've stopped coming. Oh, yes, their one-way ticket to Rwanda has stopped them coming over. And I did a video on this a few days ago, and I thought to myself, I don't believe a word of it, right? I do not believe a single word of it. They're either coming in somewhere else or they're just coming in. Well, it would appear my sources that leave comments on my videos and others have told me that a load of them came into Dover this morning and they've been caught on camera. There are various YouTubers out there which record this, one of which is more famous than the other one, and some of you in the chat will know who they are. you see them walking up the ramp. So this promise of carting them off to Rwanda is complete and utter bullshit, and it's not stopped them at all. In fact, it's probably empowered them to run the gauntlet even more. Hello, Mum. See you in the chat. So I'll go back to the original question. How do you stop them? 200 today. There you go, Mick. Mick Hardstaff has just volunteered that piece of information. 200 all today, after having so long where we've had a weekend with none of them. How do you stop them? I tell you how you stop them. You stop them from entering the water in the first place. And that's not up to us in our neck of the woods, is it, really? It's up to them across the channel. But they won't, even though they've had millions of pounds of our money. They still keep coming. And we still keep letting them in. And those of them that we don't catch, leg it. Yes, Bev Berry, I totally agree with that. The other thing I thought about with Rwanda, you try and put all these people on a plane and send them there. Nah, ain't going to happen. The human rights lawyers will have a shit fit. You put 20 on a plane, only 2 will go. I guarantee you that. It's a falsehood. It's bull. All of it. I don't know what you all think about it, but there you go. I'm not surprised in the slightest. Anyway, I saw some other stuff in the news today. You saw this person in Parliament that likes tractors, or claims to like tractors, when there was a little bit of confusion between that and Tug TV, where there are several adverts or news articles coming out now about problems with Parliament and people in Parliament. I found a good one today, which I'll read out to you. And the guy that reported this, all of these events actually happened years ago. So you think, why now and not then? Get the right bloody password for my tablet. We will see what happens. That one, push the right one. Yes, here we go. Labour MP reveals he was regularly touched up by men in Parliament. Men? A Labour MP says he was regularly touched up by senior MPs when he was first elected, as a storm brews in Westminster over an alleged culture of misogyny and bullying. There's all this again, isn't there? Chris Bryant, remember that name, who chairs the Standards Committee of all things, claims at least 4 unnamed male MPs who bat on the other bus, and they keep that private, targeted him in the early 2000s. So you're talking 20 years ago. But he never officially complained about the incidents, as he didn't want to become the story. Well, he's certainly the story now, isn't he? Speaking to Lefty Broadcasting Corporation, otherwise known as LBC, the British politician said, "I remember when I came in 2001, I was regularly touched up by older, senior people. They weren't out. I assume they're still in the closet now. I never felt I was able to report it because you end up being part of the story. That's the last thing you want. I think a lot of women have been through that." I read another one earlier where somebody apparently had a comment, "What if I pull this on the back of your dress? What would happen?" Well, we know, that's inappropriate really in the workplace. I can think of 4 MPs. I was shocked at the time. None of them are out, of course. I assume, again, he means out of the closet. I think that now if anybody would do that, I would be absolutely robust. I would call the person out immediately and I would make a complaint. A total of 56 MPs are facing allegations of misconduct of the sexual variety, including 3 members of Boris Johnson's own cabinet. This was reported on Monday. Mr. Bryant's disclosure comes after the Conservative Party's Neil Parish was forced to resign after watching tractors while in a mass debate. He said he was not proud of what he did naming it a moment of madness and himself a fucking idiot. In an interview with BBC Southwest, he said the situation was that, funnily enough, it was tractors I was looking at. Ooh, I never got excited over a tractor. I did get into another website that had a very similar name, and I watched it for a bit. What I shouldn't have done, but my biggest crime, is that on another occasion, I went in a second time. Well, he obviously wanted to have a better look, didn't he? He probably missed something. Asked if that was deliberate, he replied that was deliberate. That was sitting waiting to vote on the side of the chamber. However, he denied watching the material in a way where he hoped other people would see it, after a horrified female MP who'd been sitting next to him reported the incident. He got caught, basically, didn't he? That's what it amounts to. The latest scandal came after Deputy Labour leader Miss Rayner was accused by an unnamed Conservative MP of crossing and uncrossing her legs in an effort to distract Boris Johnson. I don't think leg crossing really is required to do that. Trade Secretary Anne-Marie Trevelyan also alleges she was pinned against a wall by a former MP with wandering hands many years ago. The old wandering hand syndrome, oh dear. She said he declared she must want him because he was a powerful man, before going on to allege that she'd also dealt with wandering hands from around half a dozen other male MPs. It's not okay. It's not okay in any workplace. It's not okay in any kind of social environment for men to abuse their position, that power, their strength. It's not okay. We must always call it out, she said. Caroline Noakes, another Conservative MP, has claimed her party was institutionally sexist after alleging she had been touched and bullied by male colleagues. The business secretary, Kwasi Kwarteng, put the situation down to a few bad apples, trying to smooth it over, so to speak. There are a few, but it's very easy to brand a whole institution as institutionally sexist. I don't think that's true, he said. Meanwhile, Labour MP Liam, is that Byron, I don't know, was this week suspended from the House of Commons for 2 days after bullying a former assistant. He abused his position of power and ostracised David Barker by ceasing personal contact with him for several months, a disciplinary panel found. The politician also denied access to his parliamentary IT account in what was described to be a significant misuse of power by Parliamentary Standards Commissioner Catherine Stone. Now, that makes for a very interesting read, doesn't it, all of that? There's other articles online as well you can find all about it. And let's get some light on here, actually. Shut that door a moment. And you wonder, what the hell are we voting in? You know, at the end of the day, it is a workplace, but watching tractors in Parliament, wandering hand syndrome, what's running the country, for crying out loud? It is really, well, it's an eye-opener, really, a total and utter eye-opener. I just don't get it. I really don't. Anyway, let's retreat to the chat and have a look and see what you guys have got to say about that one. And before I do, I just want to welcome everybody that's just joined us to the daily chat with Andy the Gabby Cabby. If you've not done so already, please give the stream a thumbs up, and I appreciate that. We're getting very near 30,200 subscribers now, 30,200, 30,300 subscribers. So if you haven't done so already and you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing as well. I appreciate that. Now let's have a look and see what you have all got to say. Please scroll up a bit. I will try. Adam, Keir Starmer doesn't know what a tractor is. Yes, maybe. Clinton and his intern. Yeah, that was another one, wasn't it? There's a time and a place for some things. If that's what rocks his boat, he should do it in private. Exactly, mother. Totally agree with you. I mean, everybody's, you know, done a bit of tug TV in their time, but come on. I'll watch PMQs to watch out for Dominic Raab. Yeah. Hello, all. If that woman MP was held with her back to the wall by that male MP, a well-aimed upward thrust of her knee into the crown jewels would have got him off. And how could he complain? Exactly, Anna Perkins. Exactly. Look at this stunner. Yes, Sharon Shooter. Where else have we got? Michael Castro, an evening cabster. Surely half the problem in government is masturbating. Try saying it quick. Yeah, totally. I mean, that really made me laugh when it was the news was first broken the other day with that headline. Yeah, it's all bollocks. Kirky Bailey says you've summed that up quite nicely. Made it reasonably on time, but bought me cuppa. Dibby and Ringo says, "Good to see you." Dig of the dump. Wandering hand syndrome. Is that the next virus? Yes, maybe. If I wanted sexy legs, I'd watch porn, not Angela. Kirky Bailey says, yeah, absolutely. What else we got here? Christine Quinnell, good to see you. Saw her do it, and I was shocked. Was it the slow move, a bit like Sharon Stone, I wonder? Yes, I have seen that movie, and more than one occasion. There you go. Andy, seen some news about two soldiers from the UK. 22nd been captured by Russian soldiers. It's all baloney. Yes, I did a video on this morning. They're trying to scare us. It's utter bullshit. I've had enough of it. I don't know about you guys. Hi, Jean and his mum. Hello, Chrissy Williams. Thank you for saying hello to my mum. I have a list in my group of all the Labour Party with guilty verdicts, Julie Baldwin. I think I've actually read that. Or at least I saw you publish it, Julie. John Harrington, there is big ones now. This is a dump truck. They're all off their nuts on cake and booze. Yes, there's a funny thing about cake at parties, isn't there? Andy, you've never lived. Don't you believe it, Sharon Shooter? Jeffrey Epstein wasn't interested in tractors. Yes, thank you, James Carney. It's all coming out now. Poor Chris Bryant buggered over the desk. Reminds me of that Scum movie. Ha ha ha. Crazy. Don't. Why wait 20 years and then get yourself in the papers and then say you don't want to be the story? That doesn't make any sense to me. One little iota. So you're all on the same page, really, with regard to what's going on. 50 on the list. Jesus, Julie, that is a big list, isn't it? But again, why? We vote these people in to apparently do a job, and we read shit like this. It's just slander, sleaze, horrible crap, basically. Horrible, horrible crap. And I think the whole thing needs a big rethink. I heard earlier as well, changing the subject completely from politics. Hang on a minute. Did you notice Petrol went to Ukraine? Why not the leader of the free world? Couldn't find his shoes. I'll forget. Yeah, don't. That's a joke as well. Let's divert away from politics for a minute and talk about justice. I did a video, a live stream, probably a good couple of weeks ago now, I suppose, all about what I think of the justice system in this country and what's gone wrong. And I saw a thing in here about a fella that attacked a pensioner. And when I read the sentence he got, I was disgusted. I thought what he did, he should go to prison for a lot longer. But apparently the inmates haven't taken very kindly to what this guy did. I'll tell you about it right now. I'll even show you the guy. Let me see. Yes, here we go. Robber who broke pensioner's hip has boiling water poured all over him in prison. I mean, let's have a look at this gentleman, shall we? What a wonderful man he is for breaking a pensioner's hip. There he is, right there. And he's currently staying at Her Majesty's pleasure in the prison. But apparently he's coming to a bit of an incident with some boiling water. A robber who snatched an elderly woman's handbag causing her to fall and break her hip, had boiling water poured over him in prison, scummed straight away for picking on a defenceless old lady. Dean Kenyon, 35, targeted the 79-year-old victim as she waited to be picked up by her daughter in County Durham on January the 12th. He left her with lifelong injuries as she crashed to the ground during the frightening robbery. Kenyon was arrested and remanded in custody after he was identified on CCTV footage. But while on remand in prison, Kenyon was subjected to a horrific attack where boiling water was poured on his legs and arms. It left him in constant and searing pain and needing 5 skin graft operations. Kenyon and Parkside Crescent Siam appeared at the court via video link after pleading guilty to the robbery. Well, it looks like he was bound to rights. The court heard Kenyon had previously snatched the purse of a woman in her 50s after he banged her into the Teesside area. Oh, he barged into her into the Teesside area in 2020. He later went on to use the woman's bank cards. Chris Morrison defending said the level of remorse in this matter is apparent. When the sober realization of what he had done to that vulnerable lady dawned upon him, he was mortified. He is mortified to this day. I'm sorry, I don't buy that. He said Kenyon carried out the robbery to acquire money for drugs, adding whilst on remand, he'd been made subject of a most horrific attack. He had boiling water poured over his arms and legs, resulting in skin grafts. He had 5 skin grafts operations, and his mobility is to be affected by these. He is currently heavily sedated and in constant and searing pain. Judge James Atkin handed Kenyon a 6-year prison sentence with a 3-year extended license. So there you go. I don't, this business of light sentences for things like this. I mean, look at the story. He's ended up attacking a defenseless old lady, and then 2 years before, he's attacked somebody else. What the hell's he doing out in the street in the first place? I mean, I don't condone attacks or anything else, no matter how they come. But at the end of the day, he's been dealt out, I suppose you could call it rough justice, behind bars. And you've got to think to yourself, is it because they found out what he did and didn't like it any more than we do? Or is it something else? And they've right, bang, we'll have him. But he's come off very worse by the sound of it. Not great. I mean, at the end of the day, they mentioned drugs in there. He's obviously got some kind of drug issue, which means he will need money. And he's obviously decided to rob and steal. And also, he's obviously a repeat offender. So what the hell's he doing out, let alone only getting 6 years? Is crazy. I mean, this old lady, he could have killed her if she fell over and banged her head or something. It's nuts. Alan Edge, I will say hello to you later on, okay? Where else are we? Doris James, hi Andy, nice to join you again. Hope you're keeping well. Yeah, I'm not too bad, Doris, thank you. I only broke off there because there was a couple of the names that have propped up I haven't seen in a few days. Edgar Lee, I've read about that. They put sugar in the boiling water, so it stuck. Oh, nasty. So they really wanted to do him in, didn't they, by the sounds of it. Thanks, Harry. I don't think I'd make a very good one. I'm not soft enough, really. Maybe Alan, with those initials, I know what you mean. Maybe. I don't know whether I'll be there tonight because I've got an early start tomorrow, but we'll see. Lisa Farr, Becker had 2 years for hiding his own money, and that scum harming the defenceless gets slightly more. He is a danger to society. Exactly. Mike Godby, delay? What delay, Mike? Is there a speech delay? You let me know. That would be sweet, wouldn't it? I'm a great believer in karma. Exactly, Mum, karma. Every time you give what you receive. Smash a like, guys, and subscribe. 24 likes more to reach the 100. Yes, if you haven't done so already, folks, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and hit that like button. We like to get these live streams up to 100 as much as we possibly can. That's all good. Let's have a look and see what else we can talk about today, shall we? Has anyone been following the Johnny Depp thing? It's all about having your dirty laundry aired in public. You've got one suing for something and then the other suing for something else, or counter-suing. It's completely and utterly crazy, the whole thing. I mean, I saw this thing earlier. Where are we? It's going to load. Johnny Depp can't control laughter at baffled bodyguard's response to question about actor's penis in libel trial. Penis? What? Excuse me? I mean, it's absolutely nuts, the whole thing. The courtroom descended into laughter on Thursday during Johnny Depp's libel trial after the actor's personal security was baffled by a question about Depp's penis. It marked another day in the ongoing trial after the 58-year-old is suing Heard, 36, over an article she wrote in the Washington Post, which Depp's lawyers say falsely implies he physically and sexually abused her. More of this. The article does not mention him by name. Heard is countersuing for $100 million, claiming Depp libelled her by calling her a liar. I suppose the proof's in the pudding, isn't it? You know, who is telling the truth? That's up to court to decide. On Thursday, Depp's personal security, Malcolm Connolly, testified via video link beamed into the Virginia court as he answered questions from Heard's lawyer. I mean, some of the stuff they come up with was absolutely crazy. In a video from the live stream trial, Connolly, who began working as Depp's private personal security in 2006, was thrown by a question about whether he saw Depp urinating in the foyer of his house in Australia, before a question about Depp's penis sent the Pirates of the Caribbean actor into giggles along with the rest of his legal team. Here, the proof's in the pooing. Connolly had accompanied Depp and Heard to Australia in 2015, where Depp was filming the fifth Pirates of the Caribbean. At the time, the actor actually severed his finger. During cross-examination, Heard's lawyer asked him, when you arrived at the house, you could hear a ruckus, correct? To which Connolly answered, yeah, I could definitely hear something through the door, yeah. And then Mr. Depp was trying to urinate in the foyer, wasn't he? Heard's lawyer said, as Connolly looked baffled, scrunched up his face and said, no. Depp was seen alongside his own team, looking confused by the question as he held a hand up to his face and began chuckling in his seat. While those in the courtroom continued to laugh, Connolly was then asked, Mr. Depp had his penis out, didn't he? He replied as Depp put his head in his hands. You can imagine it. I had my penis out. I think I would remember seeing Mr. Depp's penis, the bodyguard said. Elsewhere in his testimony, Connolly told the court he never saw Depp or Heard, who met on the set of 2011's The Rum Diary before marrying in 2015 and divorcing a year later, engage in any physical violence towards each other. So apparently there was nothing going on. But he said he noticed injuries and scratches on Depp's face during his honeymoon with the Aquaman actress. A photo taken by Connolly and shown to the jury purportedly portrayed Depp with visible scratches and swelling on his face. Asked what he thought had happened, Connolly told the court either he's walked into a door or a door has walked into him. That's the old excuse, isn't it? I got battered by a door. The trial, which began with jury selection on April the 11th, is expected to last around 7 weeks after Depp alleged that Heard lied about being a victim of domestic abuse and implied he was the abuser in a Washington Post op-ed about domestic violence. Depp also alleged that Heard had, in fact, abused him during the course of their relationship and their 15-month marriage. Heard is expected to take the stand next week and tell her side of the story. I mean, you know, he's obviously read this article and thought, hang on, she's talking about me here. And then he's gone and taken her to task. She said, hang on, you're calling me a liar, so I'm going to sue you. And then it's all gone. But the problem is with these legal actions, of course, whenever you do this, you've got to be prepared for every single piece of your dirty laundry to be outed in the public arena. This is what is going to happen. And some of the details, this poor sod's probably thinking, why did I ever start this? This is ridiculous. It's, and some of the stuff that the defence attorney's coming out with and everything else, and the prosecution, you wonder what planet we're all actually living on. It's nuts. Anyway, I'm going to go back to the chat again and try and include some of you in what's going on here, because you're all chatting away. So let's go through. Christine Ayres, yeah, 100%. Other big mistake was getting involved in the LA rock scene, so that's what caused him to get into drugs, become weak as a person. Hi, Lucinda, good to see you there. Be joyful. Heard's main lawyer is nothing but an ambulance chaser in her decorum of questions. Okay. Keith James, stink pooter. I'll come to that in a minute. Can't wait for what? Adam, read me, laugh out loud. I've just read you. Johnny and Amber is opening up the legal system, Hollywood, Disney, and the media. This case will last for a while. Well, most of these do when they argue back and forward, don't they? Depp should be seen, but not heard. Yes, I like it. Stink poots are very funny. Hello, Mike Alligators. Good to see you. I see you got your dodgy sound back. Oh, great. I'm actually looking at different earpieces and everything, because I've got these earbuds in at the moment, but if I take them out and go on the phone microphone, it's even worse. So what I'm going to do is invest in something a little better still, and hopefully we'll get that done. Yeah, I'm sure he's done so many other great movies that I can't remember right now. Just a shame he married her. Yes. I've been pissed and woke up and pissed all over. David L. Yes, I remember years ago, actually, speaking of this alcohol thing, I'd been out on the sauce one night, and I was living at home with my mum at the time. And what actually happened, I woke up to the sound of my sister screaming at me, Andrew, wake up, wake up. And my stepdad across the hallway going, and I'd gone sleepwalking into my sister's room thinking it was the bathroom. Thankfully, I woke up before anything outrageous happened to her wall, but it was that close. Well, maybe that close. Yes, a matter of inches. Here to say hello, Lucinda, good to see you. And we need 8 more likes to reach 100. That's what I like to see. Hopefully we got there by now. So much satanic symbolism in their court case. Yeah, there's a few people cracking funnies here by the looks of it. Was that an example of Johnny holding his own? Very good, Anna. Amber Heard is taking the stand tomorrow. Should be hilarious. Yeah, we'll see what she's got to say, shall we? I've not really covered this too much because it's something that you can't really go down too far because it's an active court case. You can't discuss things because of sub judice, but every now and again when I see something laughable like that, I've got to call it out for what it is. The lawyers, especially hers, seem incompetent. The whole thing's a shit shower, really, isn't it? Johnny Depp loves chocolate covered tractors. Yes, very good, Alan. Paul Hoskin, 5% VAT on your energy bill. Why? Hi, Trevor Fuller. Good to see you in the chat there. David L. It's a joke, Andy, but instead of laughing in court about her, do you not think she needs help? May well do. May well do. You know, a lot of these celebrities, you know, I'm not a celebrity, but I use myself to a lesser example. you go from anonymity, nobody knows who you are, to all of a sudden everybody knowing who you are. And, you know, in the case of some of these Hollywood actors and actresses, you end up on the page of everything, everywhere, millions, and all of this attention. And you find your life isn't your own anymore. I mean, my life is my own. I can switch this off and go indoors, but the attention can seem, if you're not used to it, overwhelming. And some people need a release, and then does it start affecting up here? I'm not talking about this case in particular. I'm just making a generalisation about everybody. Does success go to their head? Does this up here start having a bit of a meltdown? It's really really something how some of these people behave, and of course when the press get hold of it, they rip them a new one. It's really quite extraordinary. Let's have another look. The filthy creature who did away with little Sarah Payne has been attacked many times in prison. Don't all laugh at once, people. I'm laughing first. Yeah, at the end of the day, you go in prison for attacking a kid and your mates find out about it, you're fucked. They're going to make your life hell. I mean, you know, cop killers, coppers that go in as well that do bad things, they're on the list. Johnny Depp was amazing in that Sleepy Hollow movie. I loved it. It was like a Tim Burton film. Also, Pirates of the Caribbean, Edward Scissorhands, great actor in their time. Amber, yeah, exactly. I'm with you there. Sand Dancer, good to see you. Hope you're okay. So we've got loads of you in the chat there. Yeah, but Andy sent you some good laughs. Or same or a month on. Okay, I will have a look, Alan Edge. I keep getting behind on that sort of thing, but I will have a look. Don't you worry. Love Johnny. Yeah, there's some Johnny love in there, isn't there? Adam Webb, artist writer Webb. What goes around comes around. Yeah, it's karma, isn't it? Absolute karma. And there you go. What's Christine here said? Can somebody explain to me why on Facebook, when I try to argue with a man, the reply is always the same? Learn to cook. Seriously, what is that about? Abject sexism, isn't it? My hubby was about to wee in the wardrobe. Luckily, he woke me up. My friend stayed at a friend's house, got drunk, weed in the Alibaba basket. Luckily, the clothes needed washing. My God, everybody somewhere ends up doing something silly when they've had a few too many, don't they? I mean, I remember another time years ago as well, I ended up passing out on somebody's landing, and I come to just in time, and I had lipstick all over my face, and they were about to shave my legs, but I was 20 years younger than I am now, and rather silly, to say the least. We all get in those situations. But there you go. Anyway, enough of that. Yes, this is the live chat with Andy the Gabby Cabby, everybody. Again, good to see you all. Welcome. If you've just joined us and you haven't done so already, please hit the old thumbs up button. And thank you for joining us. If you haven't already done so as well, and you're a new viewer to the channel, our subscribers have shot up something chronic over the last few days. Please consider subscribing as well. That would be great. And the more the merrier. Somebody, deemed as Andy's Army. And let's be just that, Andy's Army, and we're growing by the day. I saw a sad one in the paper as well. I don't know if the name Katie Kenyon rings any bells to anybody. It's somebody that went missing, and unfortunately she's now been found, and unfortunately it's her remains that have been found, and she's not safe and well. So first thing, before I go any further, condolences to the family, of course. Police say Katie Kenyon died of head injuries after they formally identified her body. A body found in the search for missing Katie Kenyon has been confirmed as that of the pageant mother. So she was a mother to a child who has now lost a parent. It's awful. Lancashire police announced yesterday that they had found remains suspected to be hers in the Forest of Bowland. The force suspect the mum of two died as a result of head wounds, and a man has been charged with her murder. Today, it said in a statement, we can now sadly confirm that the body found in the Forest of Bowland is that of Katie Kenyon. We found Katie on Friday following extensive searches, and she's now been formally identified as obviously the missing person. She was last seen getting into a silver Ford Transit, which is believed to have travelled to the Bolton by Bowland area from Burnley, Lancashire, on the morning of Friday, April the 22nd. The statement continued, a Home Office post-mortem examination was conducted yesterday, and the cause of death was given as head injuries. Our thoughts remain with Katie's family and loved ones at this difficult time, and we in the Gabby Cabby community add to those as well. On Tuesday, detectives said there was only a slim hope of finding her alive, and announced their missing person search had become a murder investigation. Andrew Burfield, 50, from Burnley, was charged with her murder on Wednesday. So I must have an overwhelming amount of evidence, maybe even a confession, I guess. Burfield from Burnley appeared by video link from HMP Preston for a brief court hearing, charged with the murder of Miss Kenyon on Friday. He spoke only to confirm his identity during the 7-minute hearing at Preston Crown Court and was remanded in custody. A trial date of November 14 has been set. Katie's loved ones say they have been plunged into an absolute nightmare. I can imagine it must be awful. Her devastated sister Sarah said on Wednesday, receiving the most heartbreaking news this afternoon that our Katie is no longer with us has been the worst we had to ever hear. She said the family has lost a mum, a daughter, a sister, auntie, a niece, a granddaughter, and a friend. Anyone with information about this is asked to get in touch with Lancashire Police or Crime Stoppers anonymously on 0800 555 111. So, yet again, that's something horrible that's befallen somebody in this country of ours. Now, I have to ask the question, when this goes to trial and it looks like, he will be found guilty. I'm sure he will be, and off to prison he goes. Now, nothing short of the whole life order is the maximum total time that we can give these people for what they've done. But it beggars belief to me. Why does this go on still? And you get it across the pond in America as well. And it seems a lot more frequently and a lot more brutally than here, but we are catching up, aren't we? Very much. Anyway, I'm going to spend the last bit of the chat having a mingle with you all in the chat, and let's see what some of you have to say about some of the things we discussed tonight. And hi, Jodie Pitt. Just seen you in there, and I saw your email the other day, and I hope you're all right with what I did for you with the pictures, and you got some good comments. I do wish some women who find themselves on their own with children would just try and get on with their lives as the small family unit. You hear these badly chosen boyfriends often doing dreadful things. Now, years ago, I remember having a moan with a friend of mine that we could never get girlfriends because, not blowing my trumpet, I'm not too bad a bloke, really. And me and my friend couldn't understand it. They always went for the arseholes. And over the course of time, that doesn't seem to change. So they like a bad boy, don't they? Mind you, I'll never understand it. I never will. History made in the women's boxing last night. What a fight, Taylor versus Serrano. Yeah, I heard about that. Apparently, had some good rounds in there. Lucinda, we're probably joining the what's that? NATO, Lucinda? Is that what you're saying? Sand answer. I was pissed off Someone's house, went to find the toilet, but ended up in bedroom, so went in it. Then my mate's wife came in and thought it was my mate, ha ha, and took her. Lucky person, sound answer, lucky person. Uh, neat. Hi, Jodie. Fantastic art, true talent. Yeah, absolutely. Wonderful pictures Jodie sends me regularly. She's very, very, very good. Be joyful. Andy, what do people talk about during your rides? Their holidays, the occasional bit of politics, news, just a giggle, ask me about my family. And the standard questions are you busy? What time do you finish? It's normal taxi type stuff. There's an old saying, what's said in the cab stays in the cab. I'd rather that the Maxwell trial was shown. Where else have we got? PJ Mosley, thanks. Blood knows that's what I was asking. Sweden is my address right now. Dear me. Adam Webb, Artist Webb. I don't drink now. When I was led out of Waterstones to drinking and falling asleep in the toilet. I fell asleep actually at a bar once. I got so drunk I put my head on the bar and nodded off. And the actual publican, who is now a taxi driver, funnily enough, did take umbrage with me and threatened to bar me if I ever did it again. But when I went back, he did apologise and said, let's just forget the whole thing. But I did get drunk again and made sure I didn't fall asleep that time. But that was a while back. Let's see what else we got here. Christine Ayres, yeah, the movie was literally Johnny reading a book for 2 hours. He didn't even take off his clothes. What's the point? Oh dear, oh dear. I've asked Lucinda Sweden, and she is indeed in Sweden. Yes, she certainly is. Depp lost a UK law case against a news tabloid. I remember that. That wasn't too long ago, was it? Be joyful. Anna Perkins, poor woman who was bundled into a van and never seen until recently. Very sad. Condolences to family, and may she RIP. Hope the guy who did it gets what's coming. Well, as I said, Anna Perkins, will he get the whole life order that this deserves? Arguably he deserves more than that, but hopefully that's the thing he will get under our current law. And I'm sure if anybody else inside found out what he did, there might be more to it than that. Dig of the Dump sounds like KK was going to expose some details about him. Chrissy Williams, most famous people do seem to become loony. Yeah, it's not all of them, is it? It's but you do hear some outrageous stuff. I mean, the one example, Will Smith, going and what he did at the Oscars. And the whole setup there, just the mind boggles for me. It really does. Andy, I hope it weren't the dog's lipstick. Thank you, Alan Edge. People asking about Lucinda's whereabouts. Dean Lee with a load of question marks. Christine Quinnell, hello to you. Good to see you. Alan Pape, yeah, I know. Yeah, you got loads of chat here that I'm catching up on. Also, The Northgate was Depp's best movie. He played a librarian in that film. It was boring. Yes, I suppose it would be centered around a library, wouldn't it? Andy, look up Steve Laws on YouTube. He's been doing lives from Dover Docks and the Dinghy Divers. Yes, I found Steve Laws' Twitter account, Chrissy. That's one of the sources that I look at, along with TW Media and a few others, just to see what's going on. Because when they said this had stopped, I never believed it. I never believed it for a second. My original thought was, who we got here? David L. Good night, Andy. Going to have a few pints. Great, you won. Cheers, David L. Good night. No, I'll see you soon. Yeah, I never believed it for a second. I thought what they're doing, they're diverting them elsewhere. This is what's going on. But as it turns out, it was just a temporary blot in the stream, and they're coming over still. So we'll have to see how it plays out. But in my view, the way you stop them, you stop the damn boats from launching in the first place. And I won't change my opinion on that. It just seems the logical thing to me. I've got a bit of a long day tomorrow. I think my first pickup's about 7 o'clock in the morning. I've got to take 7 people to Gatwick and drop them off. I'm hoping I get up there about 8:30, 9 o'clock. And then I've got to go up to Stansted, obviously up Essex way. And I've got to wait there for a few hours. And I've got 8 ladies coming back across who were going over for, it was a hen do. Because there's a young couple live around the corner from me. They're getting married in June, so the groom says, who looked quite relieved when these 8 ladies left the house and got in my car. I said to him, enjoy the peace, but he was going on his own stag do elsewhere. So I often wonder what state they're in when they come back. I've done a few of these now. Generally, they're noisy and excitable when they go, and they're fast asleep when they come back. I mean, I was driving along and I heard bang, crash. I thought, what's that? They've been on the piss in the back of my car, and I found this champagne bottle rolling around the floor. Fucking believable, but there you go. Discipline begins at home, according to my dad, Andy. Yeah, that's a valid point, Jody. I mean, we're all the product of our own upbringing, aren't we, in one way or another? And some are brought up better than others. I mean, I have this discussion quite regularly. I have respect. I have discipline. I respect my elders, do as I'm told, and all the rest of it. That's because of the way I was brought up. And when I was at school, for example, the last thing I would do is go and say boo to somebody 5 years older than me, because I know I get a pasting, which did actually happen one day in 1989, I seem to recall. But when we get older, you notice a change in the behaviour of the children, lack of respect, and various other things. And you wonder what happened, where it all went wrong. I mean, kids today, you know, I get this with my kids, you know, they're more inclined to answer back than they ever were back in our day, you know, and you just think, what's going on? Is it something that they're around, something that they're exposed to? It's just another change in our society. But like Jody said, you know, discipline begins at home. And maybe something needs looking at there. Kim, I agree. What's Kim said? Let's see if we can find. Right, I'm off, Andy. See you later, mate. See you, Sharon. Thanks for coming by. Be joyful. Yes, I agree. Look how things have changed in the USA, and Biden has been installed in the White House. Does he remember that day? I wonder. That's something to look at. Who is drunk? Lucinda says. I saw the word drunk earlier on. Drunk Andy, laugh out loud. Oh, I think you're referring to when I was drunk in the past. Never mind. Discipline begins at home. Yeah, we've had that. Anna Perkins, yeah, it's when a child gets into teenage years, they need discipline. My dad used to always be hitting me in my teenage years, as I had a bad tendency to wander off late at night. Laugh out loud. Yeah. Well, my what's this, gamer of all games, I'm going to subscribe. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, gamer of all games, and thank you for showing your support for the channel there. Appreciate that. Nice bunch of people in here, to be honest. PJ Mosley says. Kirky Bailey, it wasn't having. PJ Mosley, that's exactly what I want, actually. You know, a nice bunch of people, a nice community where we can all have a natter and get on and help each other if required. You get the odd dipstick in here. I mean, I had a bit of a troll invasion, well, days ago now, but very, very rare. You know, you get no text with me, and I am, what it says on the tin. Andy the Gabby Cabby. See, it even says it there somewhere as well. Andy the Gabby Cabby. I I don't understand people aren't worried with cognitive impaired Biden as leader of the free world. I'm very worried, to be honest. Be joyful. I'm very worried when he can't understand an auto cue in front of him, or apparently string a sentence together. You wonder what the point of life is, and some of the news headlines you read, it is very, very scary. And as I said in a video yesterday, well, it was this morning actually. I'm getting my days mixed up. Stop trying to scare us. That's what seems to be happening in the media a lot. I sponge a train, to be honest. Yeah, I've bunked the occasional train. You do if you can get away with it. No integrity. I would hate to be a teacher, especially in secondary schools. Yeah, that's a challenging age, isn't it, Lorna? That really is a challenging age because they're not quite adults, but they're not exactly children anymore. Yet they think they're old enough to do and say everything they want. I mean, I've got two extremes in my house. I've got two sons. I've got an 18-year-old and I've got a nearly 9-year-old. So they're at opposite ends. The nearly 9-year-old is approaching that stage, early teens and everything, and the 18-year-old loves going out with his mates and finding his feet, finding life. It's good. Alan Edge, I'm off to watch Pornhub fake tractors. Yes, tell me if you spot the difference between the two, Alan. That would be wonderful. Listen, folks, I'm seeing people are starting to say they're disappearing off, so I think it might be an idea if we wrap up proceedings for another day. Yeah, we've covered some news stories tonight. We've had a chat, given you opinion, which is what we will do always. I want to thank everybody for coming along this evening on a Sunday, and we're somewhere around 9 o'clock-ish now, aren't we? So that's all good. If you haven't done so already, everybody, please thumbs up, and if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing once again. I haven't pushed it too much tonight, but I am on social media here, there and everywhere. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I'm on Getter as well. Just look up Andy the Gabby Cabby and you'll find me in them places, and subscribe, follow or whatever. That will be grand. And as I said already, please like and subscribe to the channel. Tomorrow I'm going to be out on the road, so I'll try and bring you a little bit of something while I'm out there so you can see what I'm up to. And I'll get on live in the evening. I'm not sure of the time yet. It'll probably be similar tonight because I will actually be at home and I'll be able to do what I normally do. So I appreciate everybody's time, and now I try and stick to this time. So thank you. Anyway, I'm going to stop waffling. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday nights, everybody, and I will bid you farewell. And as always, toodaloo.